Stuart, in February when we last spoke, you described the season as better than expected at that point, and fair to say it's only gone from strength to strength since then. So, what's your verdict now that we've won the Championship and been promoted to the Premier League?
Yeah, I think an outstanding season, one that everyone should be really proud of. Staff and Daniel and players and fans and everyone really, because it's to beat the club record points is massive. To put another trophy in the cabinet is big. And to do it in relative style really. So I think everyone should be really pleased in what were incredibly hard circumstances with the pandemic and relegation and all the things that we spoke about. Everyone should be incredibly proud, and I'm incredibly grateful for all the work that people have put in and how well they've done.
And one thing that we won't be doing is getting carried away with winning the league. It's obviously our job to prove it, but is there a feeling that we perhaps want to belong and should belong in the Premier League?
Yeah, I don't think anyone should feel they've got a divine right to be in the Premier League. I think it's the hardest league in the world. It's the biggest league in the world. So our aim is to become established in there, of course, but we know that's also going to be incredibly sort of difficult. But I think what you've got is a group of people who are determined to give that a right good go. We've got to make some really good decisions. We've got probably need a bit of luck as well, that's for sure. But that's our aim, and it's our only aim. And I think, to be fair, we probably won't rest until we get somewhere near to achieving it.
And can you remind us what some of the lessons were learned from the last time we were in the Premier League and how beneficial those could be heading into next season?
I think everyone learnt a lot. Everyone was sort of 2 years younger, and none of the staff had worked at that level really before. Hardly any of the players had sort of played at that level, and certainly hadn't in recent times. So I think it's a sort of endless amount of lessons. But one thing for sure, we know we need to get our recruitment better. We need to keep players fit. In terms of the injury rate in the Premier League was too much. We've got to give ourselves a fighting chance by having our best players available and by recruiting players that make the starting 11 better. That's crucial.
Yeah, you mentioned recruitment there, and a number of last season's signings made significant contributions throughout that campaign. So presumably you were pleased with recruitment recently and will be hoping for similar results from this summer's business.
Yeah, I think all the boys who came in last summer have all made a big impact in their own way. Some have scored vitally important goals. If you take Jordan, his winner at Rotherham with the penalty, his 2 against Bristol City. You look at how Kieran came into the team late on after his injury and did great. And Xavi was good. Giannoulis took us onto a new level, I felt. Ben Gibson, excellent. It was good. Oliver Skipp, they all did great, and they all added, their bit. Even your younger guys like Abali and Jacob Sorensen, who filled in so well at left back, was brilliant. But yeah, listen, we got a lot of decisions right last summer, which was great. But it's about moving forward. To be honest, now it's about what happens this summer and in January, not looking too far back and patting ourselves on the back for sort of last summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was lots of speculation in the previous summer transfer window about some of our players, and I imagine there likely will be again. Could you sort of reiterate what the club's stance is on offers coming in for our players?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty is we don't have to sell, we don't need to sell. But that doesn't mean we won't sell, and I think if the right offer comes in for a player, we may choose to do it because it might help us then strengthen the squad in other areas. And if we can sell one and add 2 or 3 or 4 players, that's something we have to consider. But it'll be players sold on our terms. They'll only be sold at club record prices. They won't be less than that. And but we also have to respect the players' view as well. If a super club comes in, a massive club, then you have to respect that could be a once in a lifetime opportunity. But at the same time, if all of our players are still here, we'll be absolutely delighted because it means the squad's in a pretty strong place. But I think the key is we're not naive. As a club, we bring players in, we develop them, we give them opportunities, and sometimes they outgrow us, such as what James Maddison did, or Ben Godfrey did, or even Nathan Redmond before that. Sometimes they outgrow us, and that may happen again this summer. Like with some players, we'll outgrow them. There'll be some players who will leave the football club who we decide we no longer want, and that's that's football, and but the most important thing is being prepared for that, and I truly believe we're certainly much better prepared than we were last time.
And in terms of finances, do you expect there to be more money available this time around in terms of getting players in? Obviously, there will have been a big impact from the COVID pandemic, but
yeah, I mean, we've already spent a considerable sum on Giannoulis and Gibson, which we can't forget. We'll have more to spend for sure, which isn't hard really. But of course, the pandemic's cost the club over 30 million so far, and so that's a hole which will probably be filled with some of the Premier League money, and that's just a fact. And we should have great pride that as a club and as a business, we've managed through this without redundancies, without massive changes. We've still growing the club. We're still doing things. But yeah, we'll have a bit more to spend, but it'll be within our parameters, not what we spend will still be, I'm pretty sure, considerably less than some of our competitors.
And back on the pitch, one of the key strengths this season has been responding to setbacks, avoiding long periods of poor form. So do you think that sort of resilience can give you more optimism going into next season?
Yeah, I think so. I think the boys and the staff have done brilliant with that. It's brutal when you play every 3 days. It's really tough, and we're going to need that strength next season, because there could be a month where we lose 4 games in a row. That can happen in the Premier League. I heard on the TV the other night that Burnley only had 2 points from their first 7 games, for example. And it can happen in the Premier League if the fixtures fall a little bit cruel. You can have games where you do just end up losing. So that resilience is important. I think that's a benefit of being more experienced this time. We got promoted last time. We'd been used to winning every week and winning with a level of drama, stroke style. And suddenly we go to the Premier League and we start losing, and it's for a lot of our players and staff, it was actually a new experience. They hadn't been used to losing games. Football had been maybe quite easy up to that point. So I think that experience will really help us as well. But we must have a strong, resilient group of staff and players to achieve what we have done this season off the back of relegation. That doesn't happen unless you've got them qualities.
And a few of the players out on loan have experienced those kind of things as well, whether it's a relegation or missing out on the playoffs this season. But just moving on to the progress of the academy, obviously we've seen the likes of Andrew, Josh, Barley Mumba as well in the first team squad this season. What have you made of that progress, and also are you excited by the talent that's in the under 23s and 18s teams at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest, most pleasing things of this promotion is we've won the league, but we've won the league still doing it our way. With lots of academy minutes. We've had 5 academy debuts this season. We've ended the last 8 games with an 18-year-old playing one of the hardest positions to play as an 18-year-old at centre-back. And that's really pleasing, because, we could have lost our nerves last summer and gone, right, let's just sign a load of experienced players. We have to get promoted. But we didn't. We set our task of we have to get promoted, but we've got to get promoted doing it our way and within how we do it. So that was incredibly pleasing. Huge compliments to Steve and all the staff within the academy. They keep producing player after player, and I got sent something just this week actually. In the last 12 years, 82% of the minutes played by academy players have come in the last 4 years. And that's an incredible turnaround from what was a failing academy and built-in porta cabins. We're now sat in an incredible room with world-class academy facilities, producing player after player, which is brilliant. The challenge is now to keep that going, to keep producing better ones, keep producing more. But that's an exciting challenge, because along the way we keep improving the infrastructure, we keep improving the staffing levels, so that it's given us every opportunity to become even more successful. We want to be the best academy in the country, because we can achieve that. There's certain things we can't achieve because of incredible resource or just because of the size of the club, but becoming the best academy is a realistic goal for us, and we won't stop until we achieve that.
Yeah, good signs there. It's obviously been a strange and challenging season in no small part thanks to COVID for a lot of clubs. We know how proud you are with how the club has responded to that. What will it mean to you to hopefully at the start of next season see Carrow Road at full capacity?
Yeah, I don't think it means so much to me. I think football needs it, community needs it. It scares me that we've got a generation of young people who aren't getting to watch live sport and live football. And my son who's 5 now, hasn't been able to watch a live football match for 18 months, and it concerns me, because what if he decides he doesn't like it? What if he decides he wants to, I don't know, be into Peppa Pig or something instead? It'd be a disaster. So I think it's, it's getting people back. It's going to be a special day when Carrow Road's full. But when every ground in the country's full, I think this is not about Norwich City or our supporters. It's about the greater of football, and we've seen in the last couple of weeks with what's gone on with the Super League and stuff, how much the game means to our country and our people within the country, and that's why we need them back, because there's so many people in their lives that football is their release, it's their happiness, it's their safe place to go, it's their community. And it concerns me that there's a lot of people who haven't had that sense of community, and not having that can cause people to do stupid things. It can cause people to get in trouble. It can cause people to commit suicide and get to dark places, and that's where we need live sport and live football back quickly. Because the country relies on that. People rely on that. People's mental health relies on being able to watch their sport team, and yeah, we need to get them back, and we need to get them back quick.